Thanks. Kirby, you said that you were looking for a strong signal of support now and into next year. Obviously, the administration's request on the table right now is through the end of the fiscal year. Does that suggest that your strategy has now shifted to want one vote on Ukraine for the entire fiscal year? And do you have an updated package for, how much money you want, since we're now kind of into that thing?
Yeah, the short answer to both those questions is no. We still stand by the supplemental request that we submitted to Congress, and we're still pushing, obviously, to have that funding granted.
And off that topic just a little bit, we reported that there were Taiwanese firms that are helping China develop chip factories in China. Is the U.S. investigating possible export control violations there? And more broadly, if you can't answer that, can you gauge concern that our domestic chips program is potentially pushing our partner Taiwan towards Beijing?
So I've seen the press reports. I can't confirm the accuracy of those reports one way or another. Obviously, no surprise to us that Huawei will be looking to find ways to continue illicit production of semiconductors, and particularly working throughout the PRC to do that. I can't confirm the specific reports about Taiwan. And then on export controls, again, no announcements or anything to make today, but we're confident in the export controls that we have in place that they will be helpful in terms of protecting the supply chain for semiconductors here in the United States, and that look, we're not, it's not static. We're going to constantly look at the regime, and if it needs to be changed or adjusted, we'll absolutely do that in the future. The president has been firm, but you've seen it in the CHIPS Act, that he wants the supply chain to start here, not end here, and it's got to be more resilient, and we're going to stay committed to being flexible in the tools we have to do that.
Yeah. Thanks. I wanted to ask about, you all have been saying that there is bipartisan support in Congress, which there certainly is for the Ukraine funding, but if you look at broader public opinion support, it has diminished from the point of when this war started. Some polls showing that a majority of Americans do not support continued funding for Ukraine. And so I am wondering what your message is to that growing segment of the public, and if you have concerns about that diminishing support over time amongst the American public.
Look, I can't speak to individual polls, and certainly the American people should speak for themselves. We believe that Americans understand what's at stake here. We believe that Americans understand that it's not, although it is first and foremost about Ukraine and the Ukrainian people and their sovereignty, it is bigger than that. The American people understand that there's more at stake here than just the borders of Ukraine. It's the vast security environment on the European continent. And it's the very idea of independence, which is a founding ideal in this country. If there's one thing that all Americans, no matter who you vote for, can get behind, it's the idea of independence. That's what Ukraine's fighting for. Their right to be an independent state. It's what we fought for in 1776. And most Americans will also know and remember that we didn't win and secure our independence without foreign help from abroad. That's all Ukraine's asking for. They're just asking for foreign help and assistance to do this fighting. And they're the ones doing this fighting. So we're going to continue to make the case. We're going to continue to make it clear to Congress and to the American people what we're doing and why we're doing it. But there is so much more at stake here than just Ukraine. And again, we think that the American people understand that.